everyone. I'm Sarah.
I'm Lucinda.
And welcome back to another color class. And in today's color class, we are diving into jewelry, which has been much requested by you guys. So today we're going to be breaking it up by season. We even have a really cool graphic that we're going to do with all the different stones that fall into different seasons. The color, it's amazing. And that will be over on our Facebook page. So let's get started.
First of all, the most important thing, Sarah, is we don't believe that you absolutely have to have seasonal jewelry when it comes to intimate items like your wedding band or just
gifts and
just small personal things. I read in one color book where the author was telling people to take their white gold jewelry out and have it plated. No,
you don't have to do that.
No, absolutely
Keep your
not.
precious pieces to yourself. Wear what you love. We're always going to say that. Wear whatever colors you love. Wear whatever jewelry you love. This is just to kind of get an idea for maybe future purchases, what you might lean towards.
And I think that we're talking about bigger, chunkier accessory items. Again, if you're picking out a wedding band and you know that you're a warm, really warm type, then maybe look at yellow gold. And if you're in autumn, maybe think about rose gold. Or if you're summer, you can think about white gold or platinum. Same with winter. But we don't want you to get all knotted up in, oh my goodness, I've got a whole jewelry box full of jewelry that's not right. This is for the future, and this is for you to contemplate on. Now, I put these mood boards together not because I'm suggesting that you rush out and get all of these pieces. I just want you to get a sense of. And we're starting here with autumn. And remember, as an autumn, you are warm and you're deeper. Your hair color might be a little bit deeper
With some red or gold in there.
Exactly. Red or gold, and you're soft. So that's an autumn. You look kind of like the autumn landscape. If you put your picture up against a lot of different things, you would be most similar to the autumn landscape. And what I'm showing you here is something that is always reminiscent of autumn to me, and that is the American Southwest. And in the American Southwest, there's sand and there's red rocks and there's
kind of that Santa Fe look where everything's just rusty and
exactly and beautiful terracotta terracotta houses. So what I'm showing you here is a more earthy appearance. I got some rose gold metals. I've got some copper. I've got some chunky amber, multiple shades of amber, Baltic amber, regular amber. And this is kind of what I think would be awesome to add for autumns to add to their jewelry box so that they can just whip out some things that are reminiscent of their season.
Yeah, when things are in your season, it works well with your palette. So even today, I wore this really just soft autumny. This is like the perfect Santa Fe color shirt.
It is.
And then paired it with some of your jewelry.
Well, and it's chunky, a nice chunky piece. And you can keep that if you'd like.
Oh, thank you.
And we took a look at trends for 2024. And in the autumn palette, they're saying that pendants are one of those items that are really big.
Oh, yeah. Every magazine is starting to talk about pendants.
Pendants and brooches. Oh, and pearls are having a moment. So we're going to get to that in a bit. But, I could see something with a, really kind of a beautiful pendant in these tones, or an amber, a gorgeous amber. And just think soft. We're going to move on to spring. And spring is bright and warm. And another trend that we're seeing is for 2024 are cuff bracelets. And this is where I think you could have a lot of fun as a spring. Make sure you've got like some big chunky cuff bracelets, and yellow gold is your thing.
Oh, yeah.
Now, of course, you have stones that'll be in your season, but you are, as a spring, your hair has red or gold highlights. It's medium to light, and you are a bright, kind of a bright personality, a bright color personality. And so this mood board I did here for you is kind of where I see springs for 2024.
What about stones for the spring palette? Because we know they need to be bright. How often are we going to come across like bright stones that are warm?
All the time. And what I've done, I've got later on in the video, I'm going to tell you some stones that would be just brilliant for spring. Okay. One of the stones that I love for spring and, well, for every season is turquoise, because turquoise is kind of a universal stone, and that's something that can just brighten up everything. But for spring's carnelian, adventuring.
Which one's like the bright, like orangey-ish, reddish, like almost like a poppy color? There's like a bright, is that coral?
Definitely. Coral is terrific for springs.
I love pairing turquoise and coral together. I think those two colors look amazing.
Do you know why?
Why?
Because there's a little bit of complementary color going on.
I was going to say complementary colors, because you also have the brightness pairing as well. Yes.
And we'll go over turquoise a little bit further, but what you're seeing is the eye. We tend to look for patterns and colors and things that are part of what we're used to, and then we see them afresh when they're combined in areas that we don't usually see them. Winter.
This is where you see those jewels.
Yes. We've always said, if you're a winter, you have dark hair, you have no red or gold highlights, and you look terrific in jewel tones. The key there is the word jewel, because here I'm seeing a lot of cut stones, and you've got a plethora of specific semi-precious stones that are absolutely gorgeous. Again, we'll get to some of those stones, but just briefly think in terms of rubies, emeralds, sapphires, all of the traditional kind of precious stones that we're used to, that you would have seen in a pirate's treasure chest or something of the like. And that's kind of where we're seeing. And
well, I feel like springs get the pirate's treasure chest with the gold coins.
They do. But
winter definitely gets the
jewels and big diamonds. Obviously not real diamonds, but 2024 is a great year for laboratory created jewels, and that way you can get beautiful diamonds and rubies and emeralds and sapphires and to your heart's content. And your metals are, white, gold, platinum, pewter even. Though pewter might be a little softer and a little bit better for summer. But what you want to have is a lot of reflection, a lot of dazzle, and intense color. Moving on to summer, which is my season. And I want you to take note of the difference in textures. Summer is a cool season, no red or gold highlights, and your hair is medium to light. And all of these are in general. Sometimes, people don't quite work into these seasons, and we have workarounds for that. But summer is a soft season. And so notice that what I've done with the metals is I've sort of burnished them and cut back on some of the reflectivity, because what we want to do is keep everything on a summer soft and almost hazy, a little bit frosted. And you'll have stones definitely that you can wear and that will be beautiful, but they'll be a little bit softer in color, like an adventurine, which is kind of a soft blue green. Anyway, we have a list of specific stones that we'll get to a little bit later in the video. Now let's go to turquoise. And the reason I mentioned turquoise is it's like a favorite stone of ours, and it's great for all seasons.
I was going to say it looks amazing on everyone, so of course it's a favorite.
It absolutely does. You've got the Southwest thing going on for the autumns. Springs can wear it. Winters are amazing. You think about Native American jewelry with the silver, and the same is true of summer. But one thing to be mindful of is that turquoise can be both warm and cool. And so I'm showing you here warmer turquoise, which tends to be a little bit greener, and cooler turquoise, which tends to be a little bluer. And you can get all of these variations in American turquoise, but one thing that I love for winters is Chinese turquoise, because one of your colors for winters is Chinese blue, and that Chinese turquoise is more vivid and absolutely gorgeous in terms of shade for a cooler season. So when you're thinking about turquoise and you're wanting to add some turquoise, think about warm versus cool.
I do have a question. Now, jade. I was just thinking, I feel like I've seen different variations of jade where some lean softer and some lean more in depth. Would that just be a soft autumn versus a bold winter? Like, would that kind of just be how the jade is looking, or?
It would. Jade comes in a lot of different colors, and real jade, genuine jade, is very expensive to get, and it's very hard to tell if it's genuine or an aventurine or another stone that's that's being passed off as jade. So it's in a kind of a green family, all the way from almost clear, not clear, I would say sort of a milky palest of greens.
Okay, so that could fall into summers, and then
it could, and then getting to the deeper, almost there's a warmer kind of striation in the jade colors that would be great for autumns, for springs, and then when you get into the deepest jade green, that's terrific for winters.
Gotcha.
Although if I had my druthers, I would keep winters in cut stones, dazzling stones,
Emeralds.
Things with with a lot of reflectivity, because the difference between that and, say, a softer season such as summer, even though both of those seasons, winter and summer, they're both cool. In winter, I would love to see more cut stones where you've got faceted light flashing all over the place. And in summer, I'm thinking more about cabochons where the stone is rounded and softer, and rather than reflecting a lot of light, it's kind of softly pulsing its color. But again, these are not hard, fast rules. If you find a piece that's the right color, but it's a faceted stone and you're a summer, go for it.
Right.
And the same is true of winter. And this is kind of a good guideline, because if you're dressing in your palette, the things that we're describing here would be harmonious with your palette.
It would go with a lot of things you already have, to simplify that statement.
Thank you. Thank you, Sarah. That's exactly right. Now, I want to show you here this mood board that I created for all seasons. And basically, pearls are having a moment. And in 2024, you've got big pearls, little pearls, Baroque pearls, pearl inlay. And so I thought it would be helpful to know colors in terms of what's available in terms of pearls that go with seasons. Now, with autumn, I'm going to go in the same order that we put the video together in. With autumns, you've got bronze pearls that are out there that are just gorgeous. They're ivory pearls that are just gorgeous for autumns.
So we're talking anything with a little bit of warmth in there.
Absolutely.
I wanted to say chocolate. Is chocolate pearl a thing?
Yes, brown or chocolate.
Okay.
They're both absolutely beautiful.
Gotcha. Didn't know if I was hungry or thinking about jewelry.
I'm always thinking that. The chocolate pearls are a little more lustrous and maybe a little warmer than the color. And I'm doing air quotes here, chocolate. It's probably better to call them brown. But they're out there. They're beautiful. Spring, you want to be a little warmer and have a little more color, just like everything else. So you too are absolutely gorgeous in an ivory pearl, but you want a gold setting, you want gold accents. And there's a peach pearl that I've seen on springs that is divine. Absolutely beautiful.
Are you talking about, it's kind of like a light coral color?
Yes.
Okay. Peach, cute. I like it.
It's beautiful. And again, all sorts of different sizes and textures. Winters, pure white pearl. Nothing more gorgeous than just a clean, beautiful, perfectly white pearl. Also, black pearls, beautiful. Navy, there's a dark blue. It's kind of a midnight iridescent blue that I've seen on winters that it's so pretty. The reason being winters are cool, and so you've got a lot of light reflecting off of these dark blue iridescent pearls, and the contrast between that and the winter's seasonal colorscape is dramatic. So don't hesitate to go with the navy pearls and black pearl. Summer is my season, so I am naturally kind of biased. And
I feel like summers get a lot of these different pearls because they are a little bit softer than that medium tone, cooler. So yeah, I feel like summers do well in pearls.
Yes, summers do amazing in pearls. And one reason that summers do so beautifully in pearls is that it's a softer stone. You won't see a cut edge on a pearl. I love Baroque pearls for summer simply because they're a little bit chunkier. They're less formal, and they're a little softer, in my opinion. Like the fact that they're Baroque and kind of...
What does Baroque mean?
Oh, a Baroque pearl is one that does not have necessarily a round shape. It's got more organic, more of an organic shape to it. They call it...
Looks like an oyster.
A little bit,
Instead of a round pearl.
A blister pearl looks exactly like an oyster because it's flat and it's got little like bumps on it that were the pearl about to be formed. Baroque pearls, the reason they're called Baroque pearls is back in the day, in the Baroque era, they became very trendy. And so designers started using them in this wildly elaborate Baroque jewelry. And the shape of the pearl became the shape of the jewelry. And right now, I mean, to go find one of these kinds of pieces, it would be like it would cost your house. But the simulated Baroque pearls and even cultured pearls is where they have pearl farms and they grow pearls. You can get Baroque pearls, real pearls of that nature that are cultured. And then there are also something called river pearls. Let's say that you want a set of pearls. And you go into the jewelry store and they show you these perfectly round, beautiful pearls. And it's $800 for a small strand. That's about average. But you can go get a river pearl, which is exactly, it's a real pearl, and it's similarly luminous, but it's not perfectly round, for a fraction. I mean, beyond a fraction, like what you have left over in your budget for the week. Depending on how you're shopping for your pearls, it can be anywhere from like astronomically expensive to very affordable. And then of course there are fake pearls, and fake pearls look pretty much as good as real pearls. The way that you can tell a fake pearl from a real pearl, do you know?
Your teeth.
Yes.
Ugh.
Yes. Sarah will go shopping with me from time to time, and I have some consignment stores that I kind of frequent. And when I see pearls, I always test them. I rub them across my teeth, and Sarah will be like, oh God, that's so gross. But that's the way you tell. Sometimes pearls are so good that you can't tell the difference. And I think I've given you all my tips about pearls. Is there anything I left out?
I've learned a lot already.
Yeah, she's going back to those moments when she's seen me testing pearls. Well, you got to do what you got to do, especially if you love jewelry and you collect it like I do, because I have a lot of jewelry.
We should probably put that in the video. This woman is a huge jewelry fan, and we're not talking like recent. No, we're talking vintage jewelry, like amazing vintage pieces. She has it all.
Oh, antique. I mean, my collection, if I may tell you a little bit about my collection, it runs all the way back to the 1800s. I've got some beautiful lavaliers from the 1800s. A lavalier, for those of you who want to know, is a small pendant, a little delicate small pendant, and they used stones, small stones like amethyst or garnet, and they had drops on them, little tiny drops made of seed pearls for the most part. 14 karat, primarily, that's what you would see. But there were some beautifully exquisite settings, and they're just so delicate. I have a handful of those that are just my pride and joy. And then, of course, I run the gamut all the way to modern jewelry. If you know me very well, and if you've been watching all the videos, you know I don't wear a lot of this. I consider it art. And sometimes if you have a love of jewelry and you want to start collecting it, it's a great way to collect something that people have crafted and they're brilliant, about crafting. And now we're going to go to cool and warm stones. Again, remember, some of it is how these are set. With summer, the setting, you might want to consider something that's a little softer, but the setting should be for winters and summers. For these cool stones, it should be white gold, platinum, it could be pewter, anything that has no red or gold in the content. And beautiful on the cooler seasons are diamonds. Amethysts are terrific. Sapphires, there are a couple kinds of sapphires. We talked about cut stones. And there's also something called a star sapphire, which is amazing for summers because it tends to be more of a cabochon. And depending on the way you look at it, you can see a little star that appears on the cabochon itself. Really beautiful. Emeralds. And again, they're lab-created emeralds. Rubies and emeralds are terrific for winters. Now, I have a slide here for you that is primarily warm stones. And carnelian is an orangey, it's like a burnt orange stone that when cut and set into a setting is very bright and has a lot of flash to it. As a bead, it's softer. So that's another choice that you can make between, springs are bright. And so you may want to consider something in a faceted stone. Whereas autumns, you might want to think cabochon, something, remember we talked about that rounded stone. So that's a little bit softer. Tiger's eye. Who doesn't love tiger's eye on a warm season? I mean, it's got this kind of interior glow to it and this lovely textures. And speaking of lovely textures, boulder opal is my all-time favorite stone on this earth. And because I'm a summer, I've had to move into the opal family, but boulder opal is the coolest stone in the world. And what it is a sort of a sandy, dirty looking regular rock, but it's got stripes of fire that are running through it that are opal. So for autumns, oh my goodness, it's like wearing a piece of nature that's magic because it's got these, they almost look like landscapes of opal running through it. A great thing to look for if you're in autumn. Boulder opal. London blue topaz. You get your cut stones too, you warm seasons, but whereas the winters and the summers tend to be more sapphire blue, London blue topaz is off into the Prussian blue side of blue, a little bit warmer and absolutely beautiful. So as you're looking at blue stones, you can look for a clearer, cooler blue, or if you're warm, look at this London blue topaz. Really pretty. Malachite. It's another one of those stones that looks like nature just created a landscape right there in the stone, but it's a perfect warm green. So warm seasons can wear it really well. And it's got a really cool texture. So you autumns, if you wanted to do bigger, chunkier malachite pendants maybe, to give a nod to 2024 trends, might be cool. And then, of course, your red coral. And we no longer recommend that anybody go out and get real coral. Simulated red coral for you warm seasons, amazing. Finally, if you pop over to Color Class Inc. on Facebook, we'll make sure that this is downloadable for you.
So we will have this list available in the links down below to go over to our Facebook page, and you can grab it straight from there, or you can screenshot. It's totally up to you. Just have at it. So thank you for joining us today. I hope this was an insightful. I know I learned a bunch about stones coming from, I want to say, an expert, because you just have a vast knowledge of antique jewelry and stones, which amazes me.
I love it. And now, hopefully, you'll have a vast knowledge of stones and colors and how the colors fit in. But more than anything else, if you learn anything from me today, it's that textures matter. Mm-hmm. And if you're a soft season, then think a little bit softer in terms of your settings and your stones. And if you're a season that's bright or clear, go for it. Look for bright and clear pieces that complement you.
Mm-hmm. So thank you for joining us today. Lastly, I'm Sarah.
I'm Lucinda.
And this has been another color class, and we'll see you in our next video.